So today in this lecture we learn about the shear center. So in the previous lecture when we were discussing about the unsymmetrical bending and also the about the symmetry and unsymmetry we were discussing. So related to that now in this lecture today we learn about the we'll try to understand what is a shear center and how it the center how it changes with the geometry of the different sections. So first of all, what is a shear center? So the shear center of course it is a point. This may be inside or outside of any section, and through which the applied shear force. So if a shear force is applied over the section, it does not produce any torsion or twist for the member in the member. So that point is called the shear center, and the shear center is also called as center of twist. So now if the load is applied, of course again as I said, it depends on the section of the geometry of the section. It depends definitely. So if the load is not applied through the shear center, there will be twisting. So if load is applied through the shear center, there won't be any twisting or torsion. So if it is not applied through the shear center, and there will be a twisting moment or twisting of the beam due to, because it becomes an unbalanced moment which will be caused by the shear force, which is applied shear force. So that's the reason. So again as I said, it depends on that. So where it lies actually, that is the where will be the position of the shear center means, definitely it depends again on the symmetry of the section. So if the shear center lies on the axis of symmetry, if the section is the particular section or the geometry of the section is symmetrical about one axis, then where the shear center occurs means the shear center does not coincide, and it occurs in the same axis to which it is symmetrical, that particular section, and also it will not, that shear center in this particular section, does not coincide with the centroid of the section. So that is one point. And the other point is that if is a section, a particular geometry of the section is having two axes of symmetry, if the section is symmetry about the two axes, that is xx and yy axis, then the shear center lies on the intersection of the two axes, that is xx and yy axis, and of course definitely it coincides with the centroid of the section. As I said, this shear center is also known as a center of the twist. So as we were talking about the symmetry of the section, so for the different sections, depending on their geometry, the shear center or the location of the shear center or the position of the shear center definitely differs. So we see one by one different sections of different geometry. That is, first we determine how the shear center will be located, or what is the position, where the position of the shear center for a channel section. So for this, a figure is given. This shows, this is the figure, this is a channel section, and this is showing with the here the notations are given as, if you see here, this is the F, and this is the applied shear force which is acting on this section, and T1, this is T1, this is these two are the flanges, and this is the web, and this is the channel section. As I said, this is the applied shear force on the section, and T1 is the thickness of the flanges here, and top flange, and this is the bottom flange, and this F dash, this is the shear force due to the shear force, applied shear force. It is the produced shear force produced in the flanges. Of course here also F dash, and bottom flange also F dash, and the other third force is also is acting over this section, that is a web, through the web, that is FB. This is the vertical shear force produced in the web, as it is acting downwards, FV it is. And width of the flange, is, this is the of course top and bottom width both are same, that is this B is the width of the flange, and here another notation, that is a H. So this is the distance between the line of action of the produced shear force, that is F dash. So these are the notations, and we will now we determine or we find the where the position of the shear center in this. So this is symmetrical about the x-axis, and so taking moments about this is F is 1, and actually FB and F dash. So here if we take this, taking moments about this intersection of this web, this point is O, we have given the point O, and the F into this distance is E from this force acting to the center of this web. So that is E. So F into E left side, and F dash into H. This is F dash into this distance is H. So F dash into H. Actually FA also we have to include, but this moment of this FV or the vertical force, the acting vertically upward, this is this is produced in the web. This is 0 because it is passing through the center of this, or the centroid, or the center of this web. That's why it is 0. So now here F into E is equal to F dash into H. So E is equal to F dash into H by F. So this equation gives the location, that is E is the location of the shear center. And now coming to, we also have to find out the from the equation we have to find out what is the force applied, that is how much is the F we have to find out. So for that the equation what we have solved is that in that F dash, how to find out F dash is the, we know that it is F dash is the shear force produced in the both the flanges. So we already know this about the shear force produced, that is integral tau into dA. We know that tau is the shear stress in the flange, and also we know in the previous lectures or previous chapters we already learnt what is tau is equal to F into A into y bar by I is the moment of inertia of the section into that is xx into, in this case it is Ixx into B. So F is, of course we know in this the notations, F is the applied shear force and A is the area of the shaded portion of the flange, that is this is the shaded portion of the flange, and that is the area of that is dA, we take it, and the distance at a distance of, this is the shaded portion is at a distance of x from the right hand side, and this is this area shaded is dA, and this distance is dx, and so area of the shaded portion of the flange is x into T1. So B is the actual width of the flange, that is T1, and I is the moment of inertia about axis of symmetry, that is, as I said, it is Ixx, and of course H we know that distance between the horizontal shear forces in the shear force in the flanges. So we have to find out F dash. So for finding F dash, again we have taken an elementary element at a distance of x, as I said, x from the right hand edge of the top flange we have taken for instance, and the shear stress at a distance of x we want to find out. So shear stress is tau is equal to F into A y bar by Ixx into B. So A y bar is moment of shaded area about the x-axis, as I explained you just now, and so of course this x into T1 into h by 2, and B is equal to T1 we know. Tau is equal to here F into A is x into T1 into h by 2 divided by Ixx into B is T1. So T1. So F into x into h by 2 Ixx. Now the shear force, the elementary section, the shear force is shear force in the elementary area dA is tau into dA. So tau into dx into T1. Area is dx into T1. So the total shear force in the top flange, if you want to find out, F dash is equal to integral of tau into dA. Limits are b and 0. B to 0. Tau dx into that is, as we have taken top, in the top step, that is dx into t1. So f dash is equal to f into tau. In the place of tau we substitute the tau formula, f into x into h by 2 and 2ixx into t1 into dx. So as these are the constants, taking out f into h into t1 by 2ixx within the limit b to 0 x dx. So f into h into t1 by 2ixx x square by 2 between b and 0, f into h into t1 into b square by 2 into ixx into this 2. So this comes to f into h into t1 b square by 4 ixx. Of course this is the what we have found out, as we have taken in the top flange an element of dx of area dA. So this is about what we have got f dash, that is a shear force produced in the top flange it is. So similarly bottom flange also of the same magnitude, but it will be of an opposite direction. So now we find out what is the force, or the we take the moments of all forces about the center of the web. So center of the web means this is the center of the web. So here this force and f dash. Now we have found out what the value of the f dash, that we substitute here. So E is equal to f dash by h by f. So E is equal to, instead of f dash we know now the value here. In this step we have found out f into h into t1 b square by 4 ixx, and this is h. So if we simplify this, E is equal to h square into t1 into b square by 4 ixx. So what is to know, to write the value of ixx is equal to, there are two flanges, so b into t1 cube, top and bottom flanges thickness is t1, and of course the thickness of the web is we have taken as t2. So b1 t1 cube by 12, that is bd cube by 12, plus area b into t1 into distance h by 2 square. This is for two flanges, and of course for web t2 h cube by 12. This is for the web. This is for web. So b into t1 cube by 6. If we simplify this whole expression, b into t1 cube by 6 plus b t1 h square by 2 plus t2 about the web t2 h cube by 12. So this is the final. We have to substitute for this ixs, we have to write this here, and from that we will get the shear center, where the position of the shear center, and that is shown here in this diagram. This is f and this is f dash, this is also f dash, and this is the center point, that is centroid O, and these two are the legs of the channel. So this is about this determination, how to determine the, how we have determined for a channel section the shear center, how to locate or find the position of the channel section. Now with this knowledge we'll solve a problem, a numerical problem, that determine the position of the shear center for a channel section of 120 mm by 120 mm outside and 10 mm thick. So this is the figure. This is overall 120, and this width of the flange is 120, and height of the web is, our total figure is 120 mm, and thickness of the flange and as well as the web are 10 mm. So this is the outside dimensions 120 by 120 mm, thickness of the flange and web 10 mm. Of course the section is, as we have already just now we have discussed, the section is symmetrical about the x-axis. Section is about the symmetrical about the x-axis. Now F is the applied force, we have shown here. F is the applied force. It is acting vertically downward, and the shear stress distribution will be horizontal in the flanges, top flange and bottom flange, and vertical in the web portion. It will be acting vertically upward. The vertical upward force, of course, as we have just now discussed, that it will be equal to vertically downward applied force. So which will be, in turn, it will be, as the centroid, it is passing through the centroid, it will be 0. Now coming to for the determination of the E, or the distance, that is the distance from the applied force to the center of this web, that is the location of the shear center. For that, for the equilibrium, we have to take anti-clockwise must be equal to clockwise. So counterclockwise moment about O is F into E, that is applied force into the distance to the shear center, to the clockwise moment, that is the produced shear force F dash into height H. So E is equal to F dash into H by F, and of course we know that F dash is that shear force due to shear force due to the stress in the flanges. So the shear force F dash is equal to, as we have taken in the we know that the shear F dash is equal to tau into dA. So tau also we know that F into A y bar by Ixx into B. So F is the applied force on the section, we know. For flange, A is equal to, that is the area of the flange is x into 10x, and y bar is, that is whole section is 120. So 120 by 2 minus, this is the thickness of the flanges, and of course web also 10 by 2, 60 minus 5 is 55 mm, and Ixx is equal to 2 into BD cube by 12. B width is 120, D is, that is depth is 10. So 120 into 10 cube by 12 plus 120 into 10 area into 55, that is y bar is 55 square, plus this is about the web 10 into 100 cube by 1, total is 120, and top and bottom, this total is 120, total height is 120, and this flange is 10 and this is 10. So the web is 100. So that is why here 10 into 100 cube by 12. So this comes to 81,13,333 mm to the power 4, and B is equal to 10 mm. Now width of the flange comes to 10 mm it is. So tau is equal to F into 10x, that is area, into y bar, that is, this formula is F into area y bar by Ixx. So F is, we have to find out that F into 10x into y bar, we have taken, we have calculated here 55 by Ixx we have taken, and Ixx into B is 10 mm, and this comes to this, if you simplify this, 6.778 into F, we write it as it is, x also we don't know, F into x. So dF dash is equal to tau into dA. Tau into dA, the area of the portion is that B into dx. Now we calculate that total shear force. What will be the total shear force? That is the on the flange, F dash is equal to tau into dA. Tau into dA. dA, just now we have written that B into dx. So this is between 115 and 0. 6 point, the value of tau just now we have calculated 6.778 into 10 to the power 6 into F into x, and this is 10 dx. So if we simplify this, F dash is equal to 0.448 F. For no twist in the section, definitely there should be, if the shear center is passing through the on its symmetrical axis, there won't be any torsion or twist. So on that condition, F into E is equal to F dash into 110. So E is equal to F dash into 110 by F. So if you substitute the values, 0.448 into F into 110 by F. So F and F will be get cancelled. So get it as 49.28 mm. So that is E here is 48 point. This value is 49.28. So that is that shear center may be inside or outside of the section. So that is the center of the, that is a location or the position of the shear center. So this is about the example problem. And for your practice, determine the position of shear center for a channel section of 400 by 200 mm outside and 5 mm thick.